Just stop by to check in. This is the Morning Gardener, and I was telling a coworker today that if he's going to use cow manure, oh, hello, how you doing? Uh, and I was telling him that if he's going to use cow manure, to buy it now. Don't wait until spring and summer, because what I found to be an issue with black cow is what I use. They got other brands out there. I couldn't tell you how many different brands, but they have them out there. The black cow that I use is a brand that when the spring comes, if you go to buy it, it's gone. They'll bring a whole pallet in. That's I think it has 50 bags on it. Might be more, might be less, but I think it's about 50 bags. Soon as they set it down, you got all these gardeners walking around in the store. Some of them happen to be kind of serious gardeners, some very serious gardeners, and they will start taking that stuff out of there as soon as they drop that pallet. 5 bags, 10 bags, you know, and they'll get what they need. And when you come on the weekend after you done work 5 days to get some bags, they'll tell you it's gone. Wait until about another 2 weeks. We should have some more. According to the salesperson, that's what he was telling me that they usually tell them wait until about 2 weeks and we'll have some more. But I got mine in the dead of winter. I've been doing it ever since I started using their product. I started just getting it in the dead of winter. As soon as I see it. Right now it's 32 degrees now. I'm going to go outside and I'm going to take some shots because you know I want some more pictures of the of what it is that I need to let people see and what's going on in my garden. Even though it's cold, I'll still go out there and take some shots. But I have these. Got to go with guess I got some batteries because these right here they keep going dead. These are rechargeables, and they going dead because I've had them almost 3 years. 3 years. Long story short, get the black cow if you're going to use it. If you're going to use it, if you're going to use a black cow, get it now before it's gone. Dead of winter, that's when you want to buy it. Oh, thanks for the thumbs up. I appreciate it. Um, and once you get the bags, you get them in and you stock them away. And when the summer comes or spring, you start using it. So I think I have 19 bags. I think I have 19 bags. Oh, thanks for the thumbs up. Um, but that's what I did. I put the bags out there, and if you see any busted bags, get those. Just go up to the manager in that department. Oh, thanks for the thumbs up. This is the first time it was the same number as people are in the room. Um, but what happened is, get it now, put it up, black cow. Make sure you have it. If you don't like black cow, get another brand. And if you like that, then you got your compost. They sell some manure at Walmart. I have no idea what that is in that bag. Only thing I know is that how people sometimes want to know what's in the bag. They'll tear a little hole in it, and someone did that, um, and it just looked like it was just dirt in a bag. That's what it looked like, dirt. But they decide on when they sell these bags how much manure goes in the bag. First of all, what kind of manure goes in the bag? Because all it said was manure. It didn't say what kind of manure or anything. It just said manure. Now, 1% of the farmers in the U.S. are using human feces as a means to grow their crops. Because most people, if they found out that these farmers use that, they don't want it. But they use a process of cooking it and making certain that that they can grow their crops at a cost. But they have a 40-pound bag at Walmart. It just says manure. and you don't know what it is. It doesn't say cow, doesn't say chicken. It's just manure. And I don't buy items like that because I don't know what that is. Now, would I use human uh, manure if I was serious about using human manure and I researched it to the point where I found out how it's made, how it's made safe? It's possible I would use it because human beings have been using human manure or feces to grow crops for thousands of years. They've been doing it. It's nothing new. What was is, it's not new. But manure, animal manure, is fine as long as it goes through a process. You can't, just use a lot of fresh manure on crop. I mean, on what you're eating because the pathogens that are in the manure, some of them can make you sick and even kill you. So urea is another product that's made from urine, and people in certain countries use it, every day like we use a regular 10-10-10 fertilizer because they know there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, it's been processed through heat and expertise of these people that work with this material, and they know how to make this stuff safe. But the what I was amazed about is the level of nitrogen that's in it. It's nitrogen, and the other two numbers of phosphorus and potassium are zero. And but the level of nitrogen that's in it is 46% nitrogen. I mean, that's what's on that bag. 42%, 46%, excuse me, nitrogen. So that's quite a bit of nitrogen. But they use those primarily for crops that really crave a lot of nitrogen. One of the crops would be like corn. Corn loves its nitrogen. So that's something that I enjoy learning about. Last night I spent a lot of time reading and looking at videos of everything dealing with manure, and I watched. It was one video I thought was really interesting. Uh, she was growing plants in a sack, and all she filled the sack with was cow manure. That was it. I mean, nothing else was in there. And I said, that's interesting. She grew it in just pure cow manure. And she showed examples of a plant grown with soil and peat moss and fertilizer. And then she showed the one that was grown in just cow manure. And there was a huge difference. The one grown in cow manure was a huge, huge plant. They didn't even look like they were planted at the same time. And she was making a point that she planted these at the same time. But I think that when you deal with certain types of manure, and also the liquid waste that comes from cows, liquid waste that comes um, from horses, all that's used, all that's used. Another one was chickens. Now, notice if you go into a Lowe's, a Home Depot, you won't find chicken manure. You won't find it. You'll find in Lowe's, you'll find cow manure, and then it's that off-brand bag. It says Garden Pro, and it says compost and manure, and you got to read into all of that to see what kind of manure they're talking about. But that bag goes for $2.58. So I said, wait a minute, at $2.58, it can't be much of anything. I mean, I guess it would work, but it was just 258, and I believe it will work, but I don't know how well it will work. Nothing like it. Nothing like it. Nothing like it. I love it. So I have 19 bags of manure. I got those. And now I want to do what's it called? I want to do. I just want to feed just my plant this year, and it's a technique that I'm going to use. Hello, hello, how you doing there? Food forest permaculture. I'm talking a little bit about manure today, um, and how some farmers are using human manure, and then we were talking about the how to, if you need cow manure, how to buy it. And it's best to buy it in the colder months because if you go to stores such as Home Depot or Lowe's, and I've only been able to find here in Maryland uh, black cow. I've only been able to find it in Lowe's. They say that they do have them in some stores such as Home Depot, but I've only been able to find them in that store. Now, what I see go on here in the summer as well as the spring, you can't find this stuff on the shelf when you go when it gets in those months. People buy it up, um, but I like to get it in the dead of winter. I've always purchased it like that when I got a hint of what it was like. When they started selling it in the store, the Home Depot I go to, I said, I've seen this before. This has been on the internet a lot on some of these garden shows. It was maybe one or two shows that, I mean, one or two videos, maybe, and then I started seeing more videos. So I started calling the company and trying to inquire as to what are the cows eating that's producing this fertilizer, and got nowhere there. Got somebody on the phone one time, and the thing about working with the company is that I finally got a contact person, and I get information and things from he works with me and let me know, if I have any problems with his product, please give him a call. Let him know because they want to sell the best fertilizer. That's what he said. Wow, you got 6 chickens last year. Uh-huh. Yeah, yeah, it is interesting. It is interesting because um, feces is basically feces. But here's what I understand about feces is that goes what is the what goes into the feces comes out. What that animal eats and what comes out of the other end is basically very important to understand that connection because the if you're eating trash, then that's what's going to come out the other end. And also, I learned that the horses and cattle back in the olden days, they ate better than the cows do, and the horses do today, because especially the horses, because they had to do heavy work and they had to have a pretty good diet to help them stay strong. Now they do a lot different with what they feed these animals. They feed them foods that are basically not as nutritional as they once did. Nothing really. I don't think too much is very nutritional today as it once was. I mean, if you look at tomatoes and potatoes, and they have less nutrients in them than they did years ago. But the way that the farmers grow them, they basically grow a trash piece of vegetable. They just grow trash because what they're doing is their priorities are set up in a certain way that suit them, and they want uh, vegetables that will sell, things like last long on the shelves, look good, and that's what they want. So nutrition is not on the top of the line that they're saying we must make certain. we must make certain that this is a very healthy carrot to eat because a lot of them feed you those junk carrots, which is they simply clean up their crops. Yes, yes, all right. So now that we're going through this thing with the government being shut down, how many people are going to be checking our food supplies and see even if any of it's safe? Because remember now, last I checked, you had to pay people to work, so you can't just tell them, hey, check all this cow meat coming down through here. Oh, by the way, you won't get a check this Friday. That doesn't work that way. So make sure that you try to grow as much as you can. Try to grow as much as you can. Because I saw this happen. I mean, this happened unfolded right on front of my eyes on television. It said, I'm shutting down the government. And when they said that, I thought about, wait a minute, what about the people that inspect our food? And I thought, my God. Yeah, yeah, that's true. I like this to come in the room, say, hey, good morning, all. Just to let everybody know I'm just going to be very, 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 um, treat everyone with respect. I'm going to come in the room and say, good morning to all. Here we go. So, what are your thoughts on that? I mean, do you think that our food today is safer, or is it about the same as it was 20 years ago? Or is it just that we're hearing more about it because of the technological advances that if anything happens 4,000 miles away, we can hear about it in a few seconds? Oh, okay, okay. I just started doing my own food when I saw two things that really triggered me 19 years ago, and it was driving along, going to a all you can eat place, and it said, a guy died at an all you can eat store eating it was honeydew or cantaloupe. It was bacteria in the food, and he died from it. And and then all these reports after that kept coming up and saying that there were people other than this gentleman that got sick, and they were trying to track down where did this cantaloupe or this honeydew come from, so we can get a grasp on it. And then after that, is every so often it's either lettuce or it's fruit or it's some other vegetable. And I'm thinking, wait a minute, this is something's going wrong here because how can this be happening like this? And then I found out that the um, uh, that they're processing so much food now that the food is just not safe, and the only thing that's important to them is earning a dollar. So, uh, and it was I watched a field being fertilized, and they showed it was really cruel. Uh, Number of cows in these massive Walmart. Let's see. Oh, interesting. I have. That's what it is now. That's what I'm getting ready to go at, Mr. Food Forest. That's where I'm getting ready to go at. They showed this massive farm, all these cattle in there lined up, and all this food being poured in there by computer controlled equipment, and out of the back end came this slurry, and it was big, huge brushes that would go by and sweep down this slurry along with their urine and everything else. And it went into these tanks. And these tanks fed out into this huge, looked like a small pond. It was a no, it wasn't really wasn't small, but it looked like a body of water, and all of that water was slurry of cow manure and their liquid waste. Now, once that took place, they pumped it up into these 18 wheeler sized trucks, drove it out to certain sites, and with a massive hose over the top of that truck, just sprayed it across these fields, just sprayed it across, and would go and load up again and spray again and load up, and it was so much fluid in these tanks. I mean, we're talking about massive Walmart-sized farms. I mean, and they were just and so this slurry that was in these. I mean, one truck would come up unload, another truck would be right behind them. They would just keep unloading, and I'm thinking, wait a minute, this they can't be cooking this stuff. They can't be aging this stuff. They just grabbing it as soon as they can get it out there on the field because they got deadlines, bills need to be paid, expensive girlfriends, women with expensive boyfriends, but they were pumping this stuff out. Now, yeah, probably 50 years ago, food was safe for 50 years ago. But I'm gonna tell you something. I look at it, and they put, and the thing about it was, as soon as the ground could be worked, these massive machines were out there putting the same seeds in the ground that they planted the year before that, and the year before that, and the year before that, and they were just working that ground and just pulling everything they could out of it. And they use, and now they use the best chemicals that will make food grow, make food bigger, make it look good, and the bugs won't even eat this food. The bugs won't touch this food that some of these farmers are growing because they impregnate it with chemicals so that the bugs don't want the fruit. And we go in the store uh, and we buy this food. Bite into the peach. It's hard. It has very little, if any, sugar in it. Yeah, you're right. It's not. It's what they're doing with it. Now, when I grow, let me just give you a little story here. When I grow a peach on my tree, I noticed that I had to fight the bugs to stay off of them because they want them because they're ready. And I bite into that peach, and the juice is just running, and it's sweet. It's sweet. The firmness is to it, but not hard. And I said to myself, when I got the first peach off of my first peach tree, I said, "Oh, this is how a peach is supposed to taste." And that I understood at that point. Now, the apples that I grew this year, first time growing apples, it was sweet, it was crisp, and it was incredible. And I said, that makes those trees I bought well worth it. And I understand some of you here, Mr. Food Forest, you uh you you do your own trees. You don't go out and give people $35 or $40 per tree. And in some places they want $100 per tree. So um oh yeah, those pieces are good, man. They're incredible. But here's what I want to do. I keep saying I have an ice cream machine in the house, and all you do with this ice cream machine is incredible. I bought it off of Amazon. It's white. You plug it in. It cools itself down. You don't have to add ice and salt and everything to it. You don't have to do that. You cut it on, and it cools down on its own. And once you put in the ingredients and set the machine, a bell will ring when your ice cream is perfectly done. And when that takes place, if you don't answer that bell, it'll make it hard as a rock. You can't hardly get the ice cream out of there. But I've made vanilla, and I tried to make butter pecan, but I forget one step that I forgot. I bought all these pecans that you go in the store and you buy in the section where you make the cakes at. So I bought this bag of pecans, and I didn't know you were supposed to stir them in a little bit of butter and kind of toast them a little bit, and then cool them down, and then you can use them. All the way wrong. And so what I did was I had a situation where when I was eating, I said, "This don't taste quite like the ones in the grocery store." The ice cream was incredible, but the nuts that were in it taste like they weren't done. So I learned later on what to do. Now, what I wanted to do this year is dice up some fresh peaches from my trees and add it to the ice cream while it's being made and the machine is swirling, and it come out as beautiful peaches in ice cream. Incredible peaches. Oh, I'm just thinking about it for a second. Wait a minute, peaches. Now, and also I have few cherry trees out there, and I believe you can take those and remove the little pit from them and cut them up and drop those fresh cherries in that ice cream. Come on now. You can't eat it always, but every once in a while, eating ice cream that don't have no preservatives in it, no chemicals in it, that except for the milk that it's made of. But you don't have no craziness from just it just tastes real. Oh my goodness. Just thinking about that for a second. Ice cream. We all scream for ice cream. Incredible. Ice cream. Yeah. So anyway, where were we? Yes, we were talking about all different subjects relating to the garden, and I'm just telling you, I have enough cow manure now. I'm all set. Um, I did plant some things in the house a couple of days ago, which was Swiss chard. One called Rudy. It's called Rudy. And so and I also grew the large green kind of, you know, the green kind of the Swiss chard. So I'm all ready now. I'm all set. I'm all set. I picked out all the seeds I'm gonna grow. I put them in one section of my box, um, and they keep talking about a tomato called brandy wine. Brandy wine. Has anyone in this room ever tried growing it? Brandy wine. Oh yeah, I've thought about that too. I mean, how many more trees you can grow when you start getting in your 50s and 60s and that sort of thing, where you will actually be able to enjoy the fruit? Because I mean, really, um, if like to grow a tree from a apple seed at age 50. And what you hear about apple trees, I think it's like 7 years or something for it to produce. If you get a standard, um, that's a lot of years, and that tree's gonna be pretty big. Standard apple tree. I wanted dwarfs, and I was shocked to find out that a lot of these companies. Okay, once you pass 40, buy your tree. I see. Buy your tree. Yeah, I can understand that. Yeah, I can relate to that. Yeah, yeah, it's good to be young. Absolutely. Ah, yes, I remember it well. You know, but I'm just thinking about. Um, it's beautiful to have trees. I have 25 of them. I packed them in real tight. It's a joke. Oh, it's a joke. Okay, all right, okay. It was, you as old as you feel. Really, it is because I don't walk around feeling old. 11 years old. You started early. You started 11 years. Yeah, 11 years old. I never grew a tree 11 years old. Only thing I was growing was like beans and that sort of thing. Yeah, yeah, yep. I love trees. I love them because they're just big plants to me. They're just big plants. That's all they are, big plants. I don't know the ones I grew. I don't know the ones I grew. I can't remember them. They were can't remember. They were brownish bean that my father had in the cupboard, and he said, "Here, put these in the ground." He gave me about 7, 8 of them, and I went out and put them in the ground. And 3, 4 days later, they came up, and it just completely blew my mind. I saw it. I said, "Wow, wow, where did this come from?" And I was complete. And then I went in there and asked my father maybe 50,000 questions because I couldn't believe that this green came out of this brown little package. Now that started the spark. And as I got older, I purchased the property, and I purchased the property primarily to place to live first and foremost, and then the second thing was I had a place to grow things, and I knew I was going to pick a property where it had some place to grow something. So I'm addicted. I mean, to gardening. I'm addicted to it. I love it. It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. And I used to think that you could take. Well, I see some people. They have like really neat, organized gardens. They look real pretty. I mean, they're really pretty, and the grass is cut and everything is neat. Uh, is that really realistic? Because I mean, it's hard to keep up. I mean, because you're gonna have weeds that grow in between things, and you got trees that are gonna do what they do, which is grow. So you got to keep them manicured um, and cut back so that you can reach the fruit, reach the food. But I love it. Now it's 32 degrees out there now. I never worry about my trees because all mine are suited to this zone. It's beautiful. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, because I mean, I learned a very valuable lesson. My first trees were from a store called. Anyone ever heard of a store back in the day called Summerstone Nursery? I'm in Zone 7B. What zone are you in? Oh, okay, okay, okay. Oh, you at 7. Okay. Um, I found out a few years ago that some zones will actually change. Oh, you in okay, you in zone 9. Yeah, the island. Okay, but now my weather has changed here so dramatically. Uh, since I started gardening, I used to try to at first say no, maybe I'm just imagining this, but no, it's changed. We have spring doesn't come when it should. Well, it did at one point, and also our warm days just cut off when we try to grow stuff. It's actually close up to the 3 months. It's not a little over anymore. It's so when you grow something, it's become more that you really have to start this indoors. You used to could get away with it, put the items out. Now, if you wait, you're out of luck because unless you pick a fast growing crop. Oh man, it hasn't frozen for 25 years. So that tells you right there something's changing. Yesterday, it was 50 degrees here. Today, it's 32. That's interesting. Oh, excuse me. Sorry about that. All my trees right at this moment are all the leaves are off. My whole yard looks naked. My whole yard looks clean because all the wood that I put under those trees back in the day, all that wood I piled up under there is gone. The soil underneath the trees is is cold black. It's loose, and that's starting out with nothing but clay. And a lot of that has to do with the fact those trees are there. The other factor, which is when I put that wood under there, those animals that live in their soil eat that wood. My grapevines died. Okay, grapevines. I lost two, but I bought that grapevine knowing that it said this grapevine grows between seven, let's say seven, zone seven and zone nine. Okay, that's what it said. Yeah. So red glow grape. So this particular grapevine did not like cold. It did. It did not like cold at all. So it would die during the winter, and then when I think it was coming back in the spring, it just wouldn't come back. So I learned that when I go online, I look for a store, or if I'm at Home Depot, let's say I'm at Home Depot and I see a box with grapevine on it that I like, I'll Google it and say red flame grape growing zone, and Google will pop up and give me the growing zone of that plant. If it's not on the box. Um, but there's another store online that called Stock Brothers, and Stock Brothers. Once you go into the page, they ask you to put your zip code in. Zip code in. That means everything you look for on that page from that point on will tell you at the bottom of it. It'll have a little check mark, the green check mark, which means this will work in your zone. And then the other one will be a circle with a line through it, red line through it, and they say this will not grow in your zone. So you really can't make an error with their store. Um, Mr. Food Forest, do you grow? I don't know if I asked you this in the past. Do you grow grapes? And if you do you fertilize your grapes to let them just go for themselves? Oh, okay, okay. Interesting. Good to know that. Yes, good to know that. My first grape I put in the ground here was purchased at Walmart. It was a clearance item. I think I got it for maybe, I want to say $1.50 or something. And I got home and I put it in the ground. I said, I never used fertilizer. Oh, okay, you never used fertilizer. Okay. Um, the put the grapevine in, took off, was growing beautifully, ate grapes off of it, and after that, never too much. The grapes are always small. They're always pathway soil breaks. Yeah, yeah, I know what you're doing. You're using compost tea to uh, uh to feed your grapes, which is very smart idea. But my grapes would always grow small, and then it got tiny, and I said, okay, I gotta figure out why these grapes are getting smaller, and found out that uh, it could be a fertilizing issue. Now they recommend that you don't use certain fertilizers on kiwi plants that are high in nitrogen. And I got a beautiful kiwi plant. I used to love shooting it when the summer was here, or the spring or summer, because it had these dark, shiny green leaves, and all I fed that plant was compost. That's all I fed it, and it was beautiful. All right, good people. I am. Hey, how you doing? All right, Lead Farmer 73. Good to see you. Oh, I appreciate that because sometimes I'm here and I'm talking to people, and I don't know if because sometimes it was a young lady that says, I love the advice you give. I appreciate you." Some of them will say that I see these comments, and I'm saying, "Wow." I mean, I appreciate that because I spent so much time studying this stuff, and I know I have an addiction problem to it because I spent so much time uh, on the subject of gardening, and it's like I can't turn it off. I go to work. You better not say nothing around me like, "Yeah, my neighbor's grass is not growing like it used to." I said, "Well, what color is the grass? How tall is the average your grass grow? Do you know how many different types of grass you have, or is it, or did you come in and do a complete makeover on your grass? What's going on?" And I do that. Is it a new property? Is it an old property? Because sometimes, what they do is they scrape off all of the topsoil and then they get it down to clay and then they put those little, I can't call the name of them right now, but they put those little mats of grass down and hopefully they'll take and they water them in. And then at about if they weren't done correctly, a year and a half, it dies because you took away all the topsoil. Can't do that. Won't work. Um, my grass looks great. My grass is dark green, and it's always because I mulch it. I mulch it. Uh, Whoa. Oh, I can see that. Yeah, yeah. I know what you did. I know what you did. You left the lemon trees out there, and it was cold. And once they get that cell damage to them, then the flow of energy that goes back and forth doesn't do that anymore, and the tree dies. Yeah, yeah. Lemon tree. I wanted to do lemon trees I'm in zone 7B. I wanted to do two trees. I wanted to do lemon trees. I wanted to also do lime trees. But when I did further, it's when I looked into it further, I saw that this tree, these are tropical kind of deal. No, not tropical. I want to say citric fruits, and they don't like a lot of cold. And I know that here we could get down to it has done it. 15 degrees, 10 degrees is average here. Meyer lemons in microclimate work best. Yeah. Now the Meyer lemon, I think you told me this before, but I appreciate it. Meyer lemons are a tree that can stand some cold, but um, they have them sold at a place called Stock Brothers. I'm going back there again but they recommend that you grow them in a pot and that you take them indoors when it starts getting cold. What are your thoughts on that? Because I know that if I could grow lemons, I would have them. If I could grow oranges, I would have them because that is a fruit that is just incredible. Oh, that's beautiful. 12 degrees below. Now see that? And none of the stores here that I've checked in Maryland or close to where I am are selling trees that they suggest or that they understand that this tree can take this cold. Yes, yes. And I'm gonna tell you something. When you start growing food, you empower yourself. You are saying to other people, I don't want you to control all of my food supply. I don't know what you're going to act like tomorrow. And I want to make sure I have something back up so I can grow. I want to at least have the knowledge so that I can grow food if I have to. I want my children, my grandchildren to be able to grow food. I want them to possess that that understanding of how this works because you need them not to be solely dependent on uh, someone else to bring them their food. The- When when you have a war in a country, the first thing most fighters will do is take over the food supply. They'll take it over because you have to eat. And that way they'll bring you right to them. You have to eat. That's a good question. You're asking, can lemon trees be left outside during winter? During winter. But what I like about the one plant that I have that I'm always kind of bragging about, that I'm kind of bragging about, and that is my oh God, what is it called? My kiwi grows about it grows berries about that big, and it's called Isaiah. And the thing about the Isaiah is that it can produce up to 100 pounds of fruit at maturity. Doesn't grow really big either. Doesn't grow really crazy big, but it grows big enough, and and it grows fast. Um, citric, excuse me, kiwi grows an enormous amount of vitamin C in that fruit. Enormous amount in that fruit. And so once I discovered that I could get vitamin C also from a plant that grows um, like that, I said I got it. So now I have a means to get a really, really, really sweet food that is, the one I'm looking for, which is the kiwi, really sweet, and that is absolutely incredible. Now I looked up Satsuma, and I'm looking at it here. I googled it, and I said, listen, I want this for sale. And it says here they have a 1 to 2 year old Satsuma orange tree in a container. $52.95. 3 year warranty, best price guarantee that are quality, high quality grafted 2 to 3 year old Satsuma. Now, and all the prices I'm looking at here um, are $52.95. Yeah, all of them are $52.95. Yeah, I mean, wow, Satsuma. Now I like what you two gentlemen are saying here. Mr. Lee Farmer, 73, also agrees with Food Forest Permaculture, and he's saying it would be worth every penny in your area, but to have that tree there. Got me thinking now. Mr. Food Forest brought it up and said, no, this tree will work in Zone 7B. Zone 7B, the lowest temperatures on average, they'll average about per year, we'll get around 15 degrees. It can drop lower. It can drop lower, but the tree can grow in this climate. Now, I'm gonna tell you something that I found out a few years back. We found out, my neighbor and I, where his house is, his yard is next to mine. There's some type of orange um, plant that's growing there right next to his foundation. It was 2.5 to 3 inches tall years ago. Now it's 6 feet tall, and it has these huge, huge 1 inch thorns on it. Oh, it's nasty. But we've never seen it produce any oranges. But when I looked it up, it said it was some type of, it was in the orange family, that is some type of orange tree. Probably bought at one of these box stores years ago. So you looked into it. You looked into that Satsuma in Zone 7B. But what did you find when you went there? Yeah, you bring up a lot of good points. I look for that avocado and see what it grow in my zone. And there was one that they said would grow, and I could never really quite find it. I appreciate that. Oh my God, because I'm looking at all this. I mean, you guys have been out there and you found these plants that will grow that not necessarily being made available here, or they're not talking about it very much. And that's now I'm got to be honest with you. That's something I did not know. That avocados grows in the shade. Oh, okay, okay. Oh, oh man, this is absolutely incredible. And when I go to the store and I look up there and I look for the avocados, and I see how expensive they are, and I look at see the condition of some of them in pretty bad condition. Um, that is that's the reason why I don't buy them because they're always either green when they put them up there, uh, and I don't mess with them when they're like that. Wow, this is a ton of great information. This is great information. I appreciate you. I appreciate all of you, but lead farmer and God during the food forest. I mean, really, that information is that's what they mean when they say it's power, and it's even more power what you do with that information. I'm going to look and see how much space I have left for trees on this property. I know I might be able to squeeze two trees in, especially when you pointed out that the food forests that they grow in the shade, and I have like these huge shade areas at the best. Thank you very much. Thank you. Filtered light is best for avocados and liquor, weed. All right, take care now. Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. We are all out here online helping each other out, and and oh my goodness, that's what you want to do. Okay, we'll do, yeah, because I keep checking the mail. Yeah, thank you. I keep doing that. Thank you. Okay. All right. We've been, oh my God, we've been, man, I got to get up here to the store, y'all. I hate to do this. I should have been gone. Oh, I got to get up here. I got to get up here. I worked all night, but I should have, get up here to the store. But it's been a pleasure. God, it's been a pleasure. Look at this. All right, everybody, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Morning Gardener. We got to do this again. Oh, I do have another show scheduled on Saturday at 5 p.m. The Morning Gardener, Saturday, 5 p.m. Take care now.